Yes, my name is Bench and welcome back to our Starmade Logic Masterclass. In the last episode we looked at building our universal serial dock, and a lot of people really loved the idea, loved what we came up with, but wanted some small variations to it. So we've got a bunch of variations that we're going to show you, starting with our actual template that we can use. So we'll grab the USD Type-1, and you can see there when we load it in, that's what it looks like. And apparently I'm missing blocks, so I'm going to actually go into creative mode to paste it, which is a handy little hint if you weren't aware. There we go. So here is our universal serial dock as we load it in. We can get rid of a light, and has all of our functionality: door open, door close, and all the docking stuff with it. So the first thing people generally ask for is adding in a second door. This one is really easy. So if we grab our hazard and our grey hull, we'll be able to actually mark out where this is going to go, and then we'll use our plex door, and we'll also use our glass door as well. So first thing we need to do for this is, because we're in build mode, is peel back just this little block here, and then we're going to actually put in our, we'll mark out where our door will be, which will be right here. Whoop, there we go, and here. And now we can use our grey hull just to make a other entranceway. This would be in your station, whatever you're doing there. And we'll chuck in our corners just like so. So you'll remember that when we built this, the knot coming out of our flip-flop was the control for this door. So what we want to do is actually select the flip-flop this time, and we're going to build in the second door right here. So we'll give the button a push, and there you have it. That's all we need to do. Now we don't need a button necessarily on this side, because when people are coming through, they'll be able to hit the button on this side. In order for them to continue, they'll have to go through the other side. The only situation where you might is if it's left like this, but it's such an easy way, easy thing to add in our button that we shouldn't even stress about it. It's literally just grab the faction permission module, we'll drop it underneath, grab the button, and we're just going to feed it right into this button here. And there we go, we've got control from either side as we walk through for all three sides. So there we go, that's how you add in a second door. And we can add in the additional lights as well if we wanted to, or we can just grab, say, a white light and just illuminate up this area so we can see it a bit more clearly, like so, nice and bright. And you can move the activation module for this one as well. You can move it out here, you just join it up like so. And if you didn't want it here, you can actually push it behind. So that is the first one, which is adding in a second door. Now another thing people have asked for is adding in gravity. There's a number of ways we can do it, but the most practical way is just adding in gravity on this button here. And I think we've got, let's not delete that, I think we've got space above these blocks here to be able to grab it, add it in. So we're going to select the button that's in the middle of the two doors, drop a gravity facing down, like so, and I think that should do us. Now remember, gravity isn't activated by logic circuits, it's only activated by when you're pushing a specific logic button. So if we fly around to the front, as we are a lonely traveler heading into the airlock, we push one button to go in, we push the other to get down, and we're in logic gravity here. If we come through, say this door's closed, we can push the door to open it, walk through, push the button again, and we're now in space gravity. We're not flung out, we're just flying around, and if we push that button we can close it again. So there's a number of things that people can do, but it's based off the simple logic that people are going to be in gravity while they're in their ship or station, and they don't want to be in gravity when they go out. Now, that is a problem once you start dealing with people in with two airlocks connected up, but if both of them are using gravity, you're going to push this to get into the other one anyway, so that's one way you can do it there. So that's adding gravity into this setup in a nice simple way. Like, there's no reason to overcomplicate it. There's many other ways that you could do it, but we're not going to do it this time around. If you want a more complicated logic with area triggers and everything, just leave a comment down on this video below. So we've disconnected that now, and we'll look at the next one, which is a nice feature, which is the actually adding rails in. And we'll get rid of both doors in order to do that. And for this we're going to need our rail blocks. So we'll grab our rail blocks here. We'll also grab the speed controller because we'll need that at some point, and we'll need the rail docker, like so. So we're going to have our rails work by basically moving up and down in these sections here. Now, it's going to affect our profile on the outside a bit, but if you're wanting stuff like rails, you're going to have to deal with that anyway. So we'll have to find a way to, you'll need to clean it up basically and make it work for your thing. So we're going to cut out these two sections up and down so we can see where we're going to be running our logic. And then what we want to do is get our basic rail, and we're going to have it pointing up, and we're going to add 3 in here, 1, 2, 3, and 3 in here, 1, 2, 3. So you can see there's our area, and then we got 3 above. And then we're going to rotate our basic rail, and underneath we're just going to do 2 on each, like so. So we've got them hooked up. Now what we'll do is we'll jump out of build mode on that, and we're going to build our actual docks themselves. So we'll build ourselves a core, and we're going to face this one with our rail docker, face it up like so, and then we'll let's grab a different type of grey. Let's grab the lighter grey, just so we can differentiate a little bit. And we got to make sure we're not bumping into stuff. Alright, so we'll do it like so. So 3, and then a wedge like that and like that. And then we'll grab some glass and we'll put it in the middle so we can see through. So now we can grab our rail. Pew. And there we go. So that's one done, and we'll create one more that is pretty much the same. So basic rail at the front pointing up. And then we're doing this shape here with the glass in the middle. Rail docker, and we connect it up like so. So we've got our 2 halves, and you can see them in the roof. Now we could do even more rail logic to kind of fill in these things when it's gone up, but we're keeping it fairly basic because we've got a lot to get through. So we're facing that way, and in this case we're going to point the rail down because these ones are going down already. And same deal, we'll do it that shape, but instead of us adding any window or anything, we just add the opposite. So they join up all nicely. So we're going to create one more, and then we'll be all good. So it's facing towards, let's not fly around all crazy. So facing down again. Like so. And we'll rail docker it to the bottom there. So now all our doors are in place, and you can see it looks quite flush once they're all in there. So now we'll jump back into build mode with our actual thing. And we want to expose our flip-flop here. And we're going to add our logic on this side. So we'll go into lighten mode just so we can see what we're doing, and we're going to cut away this little section in here, like so. And then we're going to grab the flip-flop, that's there, and put it into another flip-flop. And we'll grab the knot and put it into the same one. So each time they change, they're going to trigger that there. So now what we'll do is we'll drop down our 4 activation modules there, and we're going to link it up to all of those. And now we're going to get them to set so that it forces them all to close. So this one is facing down, as you can see, down. And we'll select down on the top, and then on the bottom, down on the top as well. And then we'll grab our up and put it in for up. And we want up on the bottom here. And then we want up on the bottom there. So now we'll grab ourselves a activation button and put it on the inner edge of each of our rails. And we're going to do a crisscross pattern. So we'll grab the top right one here, which is on the top right rail, and holding shift and hitting V on the bottom left rail, it's hooked up. Same for the other one, like so. And now what we'll do is we'll just grab ourselves a delay lock, like so, and we're going to take the each button that's on the bottom rails, take one button into a delay, and then we're going to take that delay and crisscross it so it goes into the top left. Then we'll grab this bottom left one, put it into a delay, and crisscross it into the top right, like so. So now we've got it all hooked up, and what we'll do is we need to toggle one down. So we'll find the ones that we've hooked on one side, and there we go, we've closed that one. And if it's the wrong one to be closed, which this one is, then we can just toggle the button at the back, like so. So now if we want to test it, we can pull these sections away just to see that it is doing what it should be doing. So if we hit the button, one closes and the next one opens. If we dock, it'll open this first one, and then we can travel through. And same deal for gravity, going through. And same deal, you can see one close, and the way this works is whenever we hit the button, we toggle the flip-flop and the knot, which toggles this button. That forces them both to close, but one's already closed. So it's going to force only one of them to close because it's not the rails, it's changing already in that orientation. So this one closes, and as it closes, it's going to trigger the button on the very inside, and that triggers that one to toggle the other one to the opposite of what it is. And because it's always the close which is toggling, it forces the other one to open. So we can see there, close and open. And because we've got the delay and stuff, it basically ensures one door's closed before the next one opens, which is really cool. Now one thing we'll do is we'll grab ourselves our speed controller. We can use it as a cool little aesthetic in here if we want. So we'll grab that. We can put an activation module above it. and switch that on, and then we'll connect this up to all our logic as well. And that'll just make it faster than it is at the moment. You can set it to whatever speed you like, but you can see now it's a lot quicker. It matters how much immersion you want to build from using just those doors opening and closing. So that is that, and it works as it should. You know, we've still got the same controls if we're undocking and docking, and if we switch our lock off, you'll see docking does nothing, the buttons do nothing. It's only when the activation module is on that everything responds. Now, one final thing that people have requested is being able to lock people out from being able to use the buttons and only have the docking, or only be able to use the buttons when there's something docked, so they don't want to go into space. Basically, this is to get around falling out of space, or if you're playing and you want a bit more roleplay, being able to do that. So what we'll do is we'll grab our activation module just here, and what we'll do is we'll fly around to the back, and we're going to place an activation module. So now that activation module is connected to this activation module. Then we're going to take that activation module and we want to connect it into the AND gate that we can see here. And that is it. That's all we need to do. You'll see now the buttons aren't responding, so none of them are open, but if we docked, you'll see doors open and we've got control over the dock again. And even if it's left open, if we hit our undock, things will reset, but you can't fly through. But again, that's only if you want to have that. If you have an airlock like this system, you don't really need that, but to each their own. So what we'll do now is just clean up here and close off all the things that we've changed. Remember, we've now got rails up here, so we don't want to be closing them up so we can't move. And there you have it. So there's a little bit of logic that you need to hide away, but you can position that on whatever side you want and work from there. But that's the USD with a whole bunch of variations built in. This one here is the pretty much the cream of the crux. It's got the button lockout except for if you're docking. It's got the rail doors now, it's got both doors as well, and if we wanted to we could even hook up the gravity module again if need be. But that is the USD. My name is Bench, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.